Let's look at the starting five for IPFW. 24 wins, that's a school record. Bland, McCray, Jacobo, Kivalowski, and Big Steve Forbes in the middle. And for the Bison, they've had the same starting five for every game this season, save one. Alexander, Corey Brown, there's Braun. TrayVonn Wright, very athletic senior, and Marshall Bjorkman. And there is the Bison head coach, Saul Phillips, in year number 7 now. The former Bo Ryan understudy at Wisconsin was named Summit League Coach of the Year this year. On the other side, it's Tony Jasic in his 3rd year, just 36 years old. He's been with the Fort Wayne program for 9 seasons, the last 3 as head coach. And he's got this thing turned in the right direction. The Mastodons in royal blue, the Bison in white. This is for the right to go to the NCAA tournament. We're underway here in Sioux Falls, and the opening tip is controlled by North Dakota State.
Look for North Dakota State to establish an inside presence early. They want to play inside out.
There's a player of the year throwing up the first shot. Braun draws iron. As you can see what's at stake. First NCAA trip is what the Mastodons are looking for. North Dakota State went in 2009. Haven't been there since. Here's Pierre Bland, the senior point guard. He might be the Dons MVP this year. He runs a great point. They drop it inside. That's Steve Forbes. The big body goes in, throws it up, doesn't get it to go. Tipped up, and Braun plucks the rebound.
Steve Forbes coming off an outstanding game in the semis, and IPFW wants to play through him. They're a 3-point shooting team, but they shoot it better when he gets touches first.
Another miss for North Dakota State. IPFW picked 6th out of 8 teams in the league in the preseason, but here they are, a win away from the NCAA tournament as Forbes slams down the first 2.
And impressed with IPFW's poise so far in this tournament. Yesterday against basically a home South Dakota State team, answered every run, and they look in complete control in the first few possessions.
There's Marshall Bjorkman. He skips it out to Wright. Bjorkman now battling Forbes, back out to Braun. Shot clock inside of 10. Big spin there by Braun, and goes out of bounds. It's going to stay on this end.
Well, miscommunication defensively on the switch allows the Dons to get into the paint. The drop off to the big man for the dunk.
Second team All-Summit, Steve Forbes. Started his career at Stetson. He's found his way to Fort Wayne. There's Braun hitting the outside shot. North Dakota State has its first lead tonight.
Braun is what I call an efficient scorer, Clay. He's not a high-volume guy. He does a lot with very little. Shoots over 40% from the three-point line.
And there is McCray drawing the contact. It's going to go against Braun, his first. So Isaiah McCray on the foul line for the Mastodons. This program has been Division I since 2001. Joined the Summit League in 2007. They've never finished above 4th in the Summit before this year. So before, Tony Jasic has done a nice job with this program.
He's done a really nice job and a good job recruiting and bringing in some veteran guys on some transfers. They've got a nice balance of inside out. They have earned their way to this championship game.
Figures in 26. His 29 games. Missed no shots in the first half yesterday, and Marshall Bjorkman doesn't miss that little hook shot in the lane. It's 5-3.
Well, he doesn't miss very often at all. He leads the country in field goal percentage. They like to go into him early and play through him and then start coming back outside for the three-pointers.
There's Jacobo, lost his dribble looking for help. Bland in the paint. He kicks it out. Hitting is McCray. The crowd wanted to travel in the paint. They didn't get the call.
And Bland showed a great deal of toughness there, holding on to that basketball and then having the poise to find the open man on the perimeter for the knockdown 3. Baseline. Bjorkman hemmed in, throws it up, doesn't get the shot. And
he will shoot. Let's take a look at Dakota State's competitive edge. Brought to you by Principal Financial Group, and you talked about Bjorklund and his shooting percentage.
He leads the country, and their team leads the country. You can see 51% as a team. A big reason is because they play inside through Bjorklund, and when you guard the bigs from North Dakota State, you have to stay on your feet. They do a good job of showing the basketball and giving pump fakes and stepping around the defense.
I'm going to say that foul on Forbes was on the floor. That's his first personal. Each team with one team foul. Bjorklund. Braun playing catch. And that's going to go against Reed, Joe Reed, the sophomore from Greenwood, Indiana, his first foul.
You'll see that look a lot tonight offensively from the Bison. When you put the two best players they have on the same side of the floor, they play a little back and forth. Bjorklund will repost if Braun doesn't like it off the kick out. Tough combination.
Braun skips it across. There's Corey Brown. A very athletic player for Bison. Bjorklund again, battling on the block with Reed. How about that hook shot?
Young post players, pay attention to Marshall Bjorklund. He takes his time in the post. He doesn't rush, and he always has his eyes on the rim at the finish.
He holds the program record for games started. Number 125 in his career tonight. Kibolowski at three. That's what he does. He's 6'7", but he can shoot from outside the arc.
Well, right now what IPFW is doing well, Clay, is they're taking the basketball in first, getting the defense to sink, and then kicking back out for the open step-in threes. Those are good in-rhythm three-pointers.
9-7 Mastodons. Here's Wright. His three. And the Bison answer right back.
Well, known more for his dunks and his athleticism. Wright capable of knocking down the shot from beyond the arc as well.
You and I were very impressed with him last night. He almost had the double-double. And he is wiry but athletic. He plays above the rim at times. Jacobo got it to go. You said it before, Darren. He had a cool start last night. A good start for him will be key for IPFW.
Well, it's important. He's their best player and a guy that is capable of a huge offensive night, which is important when you're in a one-and-done situation, playing for what these guys are playing for tonight.
Wright feeling it. Doesn't get it to go that time. Out of bounds to the Mastodons, and a timeout on the court.
Well, we're off to a good start in the Summit Final.
NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. In fact, this is their first championship game in league history. So, some history going to be made tonight.
These are two schools that are very young, relatively speaking, in Division I basketball. Done a nice job of building their programs.
Bland kicks it out for Jacobo. And Louis Jacobo, like we said, finished with just 6 points last night. He's already got 5 here in the early going.
Well, that's great news if you're Tony Jasic, to see your best player get it going early and play with confidence. And he's the kind of scorer that if he scores it early, he'll do the other things well for you also.
Bjorklund goes right to the rack.
That's where you got to stay down when you're guarding the bigs from North Dakota State. They're going to pump fake you. They're going to try to step around you. You got to stay down and make them finish up over top of you.
6 for Bjorklund. Gray got in trouble inside, had to kick it back out on the perimeter. Kobo again rises up with a jumper, missed it. Tip back out to McCray. Gray quickly double team back to Jacobo. Now Reed. It's a back for Joe Edwards. And it was a good job to draw the contact, so a foul on the Bison. That's going to go against Corey Brown, his first.
Really nice recovery by TrayVonn Wright on the cut. Stop the easy basket. A little late on the rotation, though. Bison still pick up the foul.
Cray is going to go sit down for IPFW. We've got 3 players with a 3-point basket already in this game. They lead the Summit. 3-point shooting at 40%.
That has been a problem in the 2 league losses that North Dakota State had this year to opponents, one of which was Fort Wayne, the other one Denver. Shot 51% and made a combined 17 threes in those 2 losses. They've got to make sure they defend the 3-point line better.
As he tries to convert here off that Don's turnover. 2-point lead for IPFW. It's Braun. Wow! Alley-oop to TrayVonn Wright, and he flushes it down.
Just throw it up, and he will go get it. That was a high-level lob dunk.
Mo Evans, the kick for Jacobo. That three doesn't go. Reed tried to get the rebound. It comes to Evans, who'll crank it up again, and again comes up empty. Here comes Alexander in transition for the Bison. Hops into the lane, scoop shot, no. Bland. And a foul on NDSU.
You see the penetration off the ball screen by Braun. He just throws it up, literally, and Wright goes and gets it. A little extra on the end. He's got great length and great hops. It's a good combination.
6'7" senior from Waterloo, Iowa. And I know as a former coach, a guy who might be again someday, what a luxury it must be to have a roster full of seniors.
Talking earlier today with Saul Phillips, he said, sometimes we finish each other's sentences. There's a comfort level there and a confidence among the players, with coaches to players and players with the coaching staff as well. A tremendous luxury.
Oh, and we were talking with Saul at the shoot-around this morning. He spent more time concentrated on what we were asking him as opposed to running the walkthrough, because his seniors, they're trained. They've got it down.
They know exactly what they're doing and what's expected of them.
Jordan Auberg into the game for the first time for NDSU. He scoops it up and doesn't get the bounce. Auberg, another senior for the Bison. They come in waves. Now this is Jacobo, and that's going to be a player control foul.
That was a good call.
It's that roster breakdown for NDSU. Top heavy with the seniors.
6 seniors, 4 of them in the starting lineup. 5 of them play significantly. They've got 4 starters that average double figures. And this is a team that has great experience, something you don't see a lot of anymore in college basketball, especially in the major conferences. But it was part of the plan by Saul Phillips, and it's worked well. His team's in the championship because of it.
6 seniors, 655 career games. Alexander makes his move, and it blocked. This play by Joe Edwards. Bland takes it right to the 10. His first points.
That's an important basket. Easy baskets in transition are going to be hard to come by in this game. That's an important early one for the Dons.
He had a dozen in last night's semifinal. One of 3 Mastodons in double figures last night. 3-point lead. Chris Kading gets it to go on the baseline.
And it's rare a team has 1 post player they can throw it to and finish. North Dakota State has 3. Nice right-handed jump hook.
Didn't take long for the Mastodons to answer as Joe Edwards scores.
Joe Edwards can create off the bounce, get into the paint, make some finishes like the one we just saw. He'll shoot a few to make you scratch your head as well. But that one went for him.
Again, Bison don't get the bounce as Felt drew up the 3. Mike Felt, the senior 3-point specialist. There's Kibalowski wide open for a 3. Boy, that was pretty deep. He was at least 2 steps beyond the arc.
Well, nobody ever stopped Pierre Bland in transition. He literally drove the basketball all the way behind the backboard down on the baseline and then kicked it back out.
A couple of triples now for the senior from Elkhart, Indiana. It's a 22-16 lead. Biggest lead for the Dons.
We talked about all of those seniors, Clay. One of the things you get is you won't get any panic. You're going to get poised. They're going to come down, run their stuff, continue to execute.
Lawrence, Alexander. No, and it's pulled down by Mo Evans. Bland. Good pass. Gets it back here. Under 10 minutes to go here in the half.
IPFW showing a lot of poise, as they did in the semifinals in their win.
Shot clock on 5. Blocked. Auburn got a piece of it. Got a tag here in Sioux Falls, Summit League championship game alongside Darren Horn. I'm Clay Matvick. And the Summit League, March's best kept secret. That's what the USA Today called it in an article about 4 days ago. Getting national attention now is this league. We've said it before. It's one of the up-and-coming mid-majors in this country. And next year, it's going to have a new home. Moving from where we are now, the old Sioux Falls Arena, to this place, the Sioux Falls Event Center. 12,000 seats. It's a $115 million facility. You and I got a tour of it yesterday. It's absolutely gorgeous. It'll open up this coming fall with some concerts and other events. And then next spring, the men's and women's tournament from the Summit will be there.
And you can see the attendance. It's grown every year. This is a tremendous tournament atmosphere. Next year, we're going to have a pro-level building to go with it.
You and I got our hard hats on yesterday and got a tour there of the new construction. It's got an NBA type feel to it. It's so nice.
It's state of the art in every single way.
Just 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Dons to work with. Bodies all over as Braun goes hard to the deck. It's on Joe Edwards. It's a first on Edwards. You see North Dakota State, a bit of a cool streak now, just one basket in their last 6 shots.
This is where having all those seniors come into play. You can say, hey, we got to play through Taylor Braun. We got to go inside to Marshall Bjorklund, and they can get it done.
Bjorklund bounces off a read, throws it up at the left hand, missed the rim.
We've got a hand on that one as the ball was going up and knocked it loose from him. Pulls up, left it short, missed the entire rim. The crowd's going to get on him. That's one of those shots we were referring to from Joe Edwards. He can make a great offensive play and create a tough one and make it, or he can shoot one of those. IPFW goes with an 8-man rotation. They do not have a deep bench. And Brown is going to go to shoot. Championship week, this is a great time of year. And on ESPN, this week, Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to focus on the ACC. Pitt, NC State, Clemson. Waiting the winners of those first-round games, Maryland and Florida State. 8-9 matchup at noon Eastern starts the coverage on Thursday on ESPN. We got several teams in there, Pittsburgh, Florida State, that are still trying to make their way. Pittsburgh is in now, but there's a lot of teams in the ACC and other major conferences around the country, Clay. They still need to do some work to solidify their spot in the NCAA tournament as an athlete. Even in this position as a coach where you've been a bubble team, what's it like here when you know you really have done everything you can and it's in the hands of the committee? Well, it's tough. You see the bids by conference there from Joe Lenardi, and there's only a handful out of 30-plus conferences that are going to get those multiple bids. So you've got to do your work in the conference tournament, and if you're in a league like the Summit, you've got to win your conference tournament. Unfortunately for this league, it's a one-bid league. That's why NDSU knows, even though they've had a great season, won the league, they've got to win tonight to get to the big dance. Down 4 here. Bjorklund. Oh! Tipped back up by Brown. Good putback by Corey Brown. Well, nobody put a body on Corey Brown. He was able to slice his way in and get to the offensive glass. He's an energy guy for the Bison and their best on-ball defender. That's why he's been guarding the point most of the night. Here, Bland. In the paint, throws it up wildly, and that prayer was answered. Right-handed flip on the left side, had just the right amount of spin on it. He got it to go. A senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Scoring is up about 6 points over last year. He has really done a nice job at the point for the Dons this year. Now Braun penetrates.
and draws the contact. Timeout on the floor. 7:05 to go here in the first half. We've got a 4-point game in Sioux Falls. A BYU update when we. All right, Coach, thanks. So look at the West Coast Conference tournament. Gonzaga the 1 seed, BYU the 2 seed. And right now the Zags looking strong.
Yeah, both of those teams are in. Obviously would have helped BYU to solidify, but both of those teams are going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Just over 7 minutes to go here in the half. It's a 4-point game. North Dakota State in white. They're the 1 seed in this tournament. They're the class of the league during the regular season. Won 12 Summit League games. IPFW the 2 seed. In the corner, Lawrence Alexander misses the 3, and Pierre Bland gets the rebound. Browns want to run. McCray slows it up.
Both of these teams are opportunistic running teams. They'll run if it's there, but if not, they're happy to come down, get some reversal, execute in the half court.
McCray is fouled, and he'll shoot. ESPN's coverage of the Division I men's tournament continues Sunday with a special Sports Center at 5:30 and bracketology at 7. As a panel of experts break down the field of 68. Both shows also live on Watch ESPN. 56% from the field, the Dons right now.
Well, and a lot of those points are in the paint. And when you look at the split that these teams had when they went head-to-head during the regular season, the biggest statistical indicator of winning was who's going to get the most points in the paint. Right now, IPFW is up in that category by a deuce. We'll change defense right now for the Dons, showing a little zone.
Braun, nice to the hoop. Extra pass to TrayVonn Wright. Sticks with it, scores, and 1. A little bobble there going around his knees, but he recovered and stuck it up and in.
Boy, bobble there. The penetration by Braun. The help comes over. Bland reached instead of dropping down inside to take it away. Big Forbes did not want to pick up another foul. Allows Wright to get the N1 opportunity.
The lead is 3 for the Mastodons. As the team split during the regular season, each team winning at home. Here, this one will be dancing in the field to 68. McCray. Jacobo, shot fake, moves in, hits the jumper. Mid-range jumper is pretty when it leaves his hand.
Well, he did his work early, and by that, Clay, I mean that he got to the corner on the baseline drift pass to make himself available for the kick. And then when the closeout came late, shot fake, 1 dribble pull-up for the nice finish.
Alley-oop, there is Wright. And Brown set him up perfectly.
The guy makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He's on a trampoline, it looks like. Big Steve Forbes, and Wright blocks that. One. Corey Brown goes up. Boy, some athleticism on display now from the Bison.
Well, the 2 big fellas got tangled up underneath. They both went down to the ground and opened up the offensive rebounding lane. He was able to get it and lay it back in.
Kibalowski, 3. Jacobo got the rebound. He was fouled over the back by Brown.
TrayVonn Wright getting it done on both ends of the floor. First, offensively, you got to put a body on this guy. If you let him roam free, he's going to elevate over you. And then coming down on the other end, the very next possession, and saying, I don't think so, Mr. Forbes. I want to make it to the dance in my senior year.
He is good for at least one of those a game. Blocks, that is. He is something else. Before he plays above the rim about as good as anybody in this league.
He's incredibly productive, making basketball plays like the two that we just saw using his athleticism.
Steve Forbes used the window, but it rolled off the rim. Now North Dakota State can take the lead. Wright for three. Tracked down by McCray. Kobo. And fouled by Wright that time.
Well, we're doing a nice job of utilizing the shot fake. Ball comes up, but body stays down and allows him to explode into that one dribble pull-up. And that time he's able to draw the foul.
Jacobo will go to the foul line. Good foul shooting.
You know, with the push in the NBA for everything to be three-pointers and twos because of the percentage breakdowns, the mid-range game is getting a little bit lost. But if you can knock down perimeter shots and utilize a good shot fake, you can get a lot of open one-dribble pull-ups. Jacobo doing a nice job in this game so far of doing just that.
You watched Bob Knight coach a lot of games. You watched him broadcast a lot of games. That was the thing he preached the most.
Now,
shot fakes.
I don't like it for a lot of guys, but I like him if they can do what he can do. It's okay for Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and in the Summit Championship tonight, Mr. Jacobo.
Jacobo started his career at Stetson before transferring to JC. Both he and Forbes were at Stetson together at one time. Up at Fort Wayne. It's both free throws. It's 30-27 IPFW. 4 minutes to go here in the half. Jordan Auburn, 6'9" senior from Rothsay, Minnesota, back in the game for the Bison. So is Kading. As NDSU's going big here up front. LeBron bobbled it.
That was really nice help by McCray.
Alexander misses the three. Empty possession for the Bison. Kibolowski travel. Timeout. 3:20 to go in the half. The Dons 30. The Bison. That's the way to go out, though. The 1 and 2 seeds for the right to go to the NCAA tournament.
You know, it doesn't happen very often when you actually end up with the 1 and 2 in a conference tournament final, playing for a bid. Outstanding way to go out in this building.
Mike Felt for North Dakota State misses the 3 out of bounds. The Mastodons. In the American, got some great games coming in your way, especially on ESPNU this week. It came down to a coin flip to decide who's going to be the 1 seed in the American between Cincinnati and the defending national champs Louisville. Well, Cincinnati won that. You're going to see them on Thursday on the U.
And keep an eye on that UConn-Memphis game. That's going to be a good one. UConn actually swept Memphis in the regular season. That's going to be an outstanding tournament game.
300-pounder Steve Forbes stripped by Bjorklund.
They exposed the basketball. Gave Bjorklund an opportunity to get a hand on it. That was a clean steal.
Bison have done a good job limiting him tonight so far. Braun, the finger roll left it short, and then he gets tied up with Forbes. And it belongs to the Dons. Boy, that's a lot of beef going down to the deck.
It is, and the only reason they were able to knock him forward is because he was a little off balance when they hit him. You see Braun with a strong drive and splits the defense, but he comes up short while he's battling for it. Definitely shoves the big fella Forbes out of bounds. And the only reason that happened is because he was already leaning forward a little bit on one leg. If that was man-on-man with feet planted, no chance he goes down.
6'9". They have him listed at a generous 295, Darren. Now, I know he's lost a lot of weight since coming to Fort Wayne.
He's still probably tipping it at 3 bills, but he was in the 340, 350 range, set out as a JUCO transfer to get in better shape and develop, and played 30 minutes last night in the semis and played well, so he can carry his weight and perform, and he's been very good for the Dons.
Kading, hang on to it. The Dons in transition. This is Bland ahead of everybody. That was the first turnover for North Dakota State.
And that was created by the post double defensively. IPFW on a little bit of a run, up 5. IPFW getting the post double on the interior, trying to get the ball out of Bjorklund's hands. You see the high hand double in the post. They tried to hit the dive man. He lost the handle on it. And when he kicked it out, it led to the steal and the easy basket for IPFW. That's getting aggressive in your defense, showing a little bit different look. And maybe most importantly, in my opinion, making sure that Bjorklund doesn't catch the ball in there and just take his time and do whatever he wants.
Bison don't beat themselves. They had 7 turnovers last night in the semifinal. That was their first here tonight. The Mastodons make them pay.
We've only got 5 total because the Dons only have 4. So in the championship game, the quality of play outstanding, very clean.
There's a shot block by Jacobo. This is the shot out the glass. Forbes had it. He lost it. New shot clock for the Mastodons. Kivalowski hits his 3rd triple of the game.
Pierre Bland making a lot of nice little plays that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet. Kept that ball alive and found the spotted Kivalowski up top for the big 3.
Dons now 5 of 9 from outside of the arc. A 7-0 run. Kading from the corner. And they needed that one. They were 0 for their last 8 before that basket.
Well, that was a big 3 because it's going to be 2 possessions to 1 for IPFW here at the end of the half. They needed those points.
Clock under 10. Bland kicks it out. Edwards makes his move, now kicks it out. Jacobo misses the shot. And the shot clock is off now. The Bison can take the last shot if they want to.
And see, I don't like that possession right there, Clay, because you could have got that shot at any point in the shot clock and then earned an extra possession going 2 for 1 NBA style at the end of the half. You run the shot clock all the way down and end up with a bad shot anyway.
Alexander. 4 seconds left in the half. Spinning at the free throw line. Looking for help now. Better hurry. Throws it up and won't get it. And that's how the half ends. It's a 5-point lead for the Mastodons. And you can see North Dakota State. Kivalowski 9 points and 3 of 4 from outside the arc. TrayVonn Wright was impressive for North Dakota State. But like you said, Darren, where's Taylor Braun right now? They certainly need him in the second half if the Bison, the #1 seed, are going to advance.
You look at the box score and 3 guys on your team shoot more than your player of the year. Can't happen. He's got to get more touches and he's got to be more aggressive.
Steve Forbes. Nice pass to Kivalowski, but it's blocked from behind by Braun.
That's a good start for Braun, making an effort play on the defensive end.
And now Alexander moves in. Lost it. Battle for it on the floor, and the possession arrow is going to keep it with the Bison.
You got to love the battle by Corey Brown, getting down to the floor. First to the floor wins the battle. I think these guys don't want to play in the NCAA tournament. Ball is loose. Watch where Corey Brown comes from out of the corner. He's not even in the picture. And gets on the floor and forces the jump ball.
Like a football game there for a moment. And North Dakota State fans, they already can't wait for football season. They've won 3 FCS national titles. Right now, they're hoping this basketball program can move on to the national tournament. Lawrence Alexander on the baseline. Out for Wright. High arcing 3, missed it, and Brown lost it. They're going to say it was last touch by the Dons. And what a program the Bison football team has become. Their 3rd straight FCS championship this past fall. They lost their head coach, Craig Bohl, who took a job at Wyoming, but Chris Klayman, who they hired, took over in December, and they think that he's going to do just fine. Did you see Game Day from Fargo back this fall during football season? Was that outstanding or what?
I think I missed that one.
It was great. People in downtown Fargo came out. They really support that football program. Saul Phillips. Getting basketball going up in Fargo, too.
Saul Phillips has done an outstanding job. Already been to one NCAA tournament, on the verge of potentially another one with a win here tonight.
Here's Isaiah McCray. You know, he's ripped like that Mastodon mascot that I know you're in love with.
I love the Don. You got to like an elephant that's got guns.
It's not an elephant. It's a mastodon. It's a prehistoric elephant. Oh, nice feed to Forbes from Jacobo.
Steve Forbes has got a nice set of hands on him. They can make that play on the catch and then be able to keep it up and lay it in. The key was he didn't bring it down. He kept the ball elevated.
Who'd win in a fight between the mastodon and Forbes?
Depends on who had the running start.
2 minutes into the second half. 7-point lead for IPFW. Here's Braun. Trying to get on track here tonight. Into the corner for Wright. 7 to shoot. Alexander floats it in. It's a long 2 for Lawrence Alexander. That's his first field goal tonight, Darren.
After going 0 for 6, and what's happening is IPFW is taking Braun out, not letting him get shots, showing a lot of early help, and it's forcing other people to shoot. Alexander finally knocked one down.
Kivalowski. He hit 3 of those in the first half. Draws iron here.
The ones he hit in the first half were after the ball had gone inside deep and then come out and he was stepping into him. That was a little quick for him.
Alexander does the same thing on this end. Mastodon still shooting a good percentage, 48%. NDSU at 38%. Into Forbes, the right hand left it short. Taken away by Brown for North Dakota State.
You rushed that one a little bit. If you're big, you always want to shoot the ball closer to the basket than where you caught it. It faded a little bit when he lost his balance.
Bjorklund was fouled. And that's on Steve Forbes. Well, this is you getting a selfie with the Mastodon early. I told you, folks, he's in love with that mascot.
Champ Week selfie. We're over there flexing our guns. He got in shape, too. The Don went to work over the summer.
He does look different than he did a year ago.
Got in shape. Got ripped.
You know, the Mastodon's a great nickname, but there's some great nicknames all around in the Summit. Some of the best. Bison is right up there. Five-point lead for the Mastodons. There's Braun. He needs to get going, and that might be a good start.
He's got to be aggressive, taking the basketball and attacking the defense. He did it on that time. He had to spin back, but was able to get the kiss off the glass.
5 points now for the Summit League Conference Player of the Year. Found a seam and knifed right to the dish.
One of the things that's been so impressive about IPFW, both in the semis and tonight so far, is their ability to get into gaps after multiple reversals, showing good patience, attacking open seams.
Just one shot for the Bison as Braun comes up empty. Now, this is Edwards in transition, and he traveled. Timeout on the floor, 15:42 to go here in the game. It's a 5-point lead for the Dons here in Sioux Falls. The Sweet 16 and SEC head coach Darren Horn on Climactic. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. There's the Don doing the work, the Mastodon. And we were talking about the nicknames in the Summit. There's some great ones. Mastodons, Bison, Jackrabbits, and Leathernecks are 2 great ones.
Can I get the correct pronunciation for South Dakota's mascot?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The Coyotes.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Coyotes, not Coyotes, like the NHL team. No, Coyotes. And they're very proud of that. The Yotes, by the way, winning the Women's Summit League tournament on to the NCAA tournament. The women's program for the first time. Congratulations to them. Over 15 minutes to go here in Sioux Falls. It's a 5-point lead for the Mastodons of IPFW. turnover for North Dakota State. That's only the second. That one was kicked, but there's a foul before that. That's on Braun.
Be on the lookout. Even though this is a senior veteran team, that works for you two ways, Clay. Sometimes it leads to great poise. Other times they know this is their last chance here in this final. Starting to sense a little frustration from the Bison.
The other thing is, they've got the pressure on them. They're the ones.
No question. They're expected to win. They come in as the favorite. They've got the 5 seniors, the player of the year. IPFW is just hooping.
Actually hit that last foul on Bjorklund, not Braun. Second on Bjorklund. Jacobo pulls up for the 3 off the heel. We've seen a lot of shots tonight from Braun.
One of the challenges right now is that North Dakota State's not getting anything easy in transition, but that was easy. The baseline drive by TrayVonn Wright. His 3rd nasty dunk of the evening.
And the Bison within 3. Jacobo creating. Kicks it out for Mo Evans. In and out for the 6th man of the year in the Summit League. He is still without a point tonight.
Well, after draining 6 threes last night, that's not the kind of 3 that he knocks down at a high rate. He's a spot-up step-in guy. Shot that one on the move.
Bjorklund was hemmed in on the baseline. It's going to stay with the Bison. Here's the ACC tournament. First round, second round. Pittsburgh, North Carolina State, and Clemson awaiting winners. Maryland and Florida State into the second round. They'll start coverage on Thursday.
A couple teams like NC State and Clemson, if they could make some deep runs in that in the ACC tournament, could muddy up the waters a little bit in the at-large picture.
Get off that bubble, so to speak. This is a nail-biting time of year for a lot of teams. And Edwards with the push. It's 2 on Edwards. It's just the 2nd team foul on IPFW here in the half. These teams averaging 77 points per game. Bit of a defensive-minded game at times here as Bjorklund drives hard. He's pushed. And he's going to get to the stripe.
He cut that ball way off the block. And again, the key was Reed left his feet. You cannot leave your feet against the bigs from North Dakota State. Stay down. Reed left his feet. Bjorklund took advantage of it, drove to the rim and got fouled.
Marshall Bjorklund, senior from Arlington, Minnesota. Talking to him before the game there in his family's farm near Arlington, 2,400 acres, and he's getting a degree in agriculture at NDSU. Wants to play professionally in Europe. At some point, he's going to take that operation over, and he is excited about it. Good for him.
You know, sometimes in recruiting, you can get a player because you got a key academic program. For him, it was agriculture.
North Dakota State has a great ag program up there. Here come those Bison fans. Reed rolls it up and in. That was a great move by number 44, Joe Reed.
Let me tell you something, Clay. Tony Jasic is doing an outstanding job with this team. They show tremendous poise. This is the 2nd night in a row in a tight game. We've seen them execute on the offensive end for baskets when they have to have them.
Braun into the lane. A little scoop. Halfway down and spit out by the rim. And it's going to go back to the Mastodons.
That's okay. That's exactly what he needs to do. Attack the basket. Get aggressive offensively. You're the player of the year. You're 12 minutes away from being in the dance or not being in it. Get aggressive.
Braun, since that loss last year to South Dakota State in the league finals, has been on a mission. He would hate to see the same result here tonight, a North Dakota State loss. Right now his team is down. There's another good rebound for Wright. Spinning, TrayVonn Wright. It's a one-point game.
I like it. Get aggressive in transition. Attack before the defense gets set.
He has 14 points, and now hard contact underneath. Timeout on the floor with under 12. Punch tonight from here in the Summit and then the West Coast Conference. Send a rep.
Some dangerous teams on that list. Harvard, Eastern Kentucky's got really good guards. They play unique denial defense. Never know come March.
IPFW, the Mastodons, with that prehistoric nickname, trying to make program history. Trying to get to the first NCAA tournament for that school. And the Bison trying to get back for the first time since '09. Here's Wright, loose on the baseline again, and he lays it up and in.
Perfect execution playing out of the double team. Skipped it, made a quick second pass, and attacked the closeout.
First lead for NDSU since it was 10-9. And a foul underneath on Forbes.
It's a really bad call. Bjorklund plays out of the double team and the skip. Quick second pass by Braun to the finisher on the baseline. That's how you execute against a double team.
Wright looking for help. And TrayVonn throws it away. Here's Edwards. This time he finishes and one. I said it before, Darren, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get from Joe Edwards. That time, the Mastodon fans like it.
You're always going to get aggressive, though. Bad pass. My man Joe Edwards got one thing on his mind of getting to the rim for buckets. He's got the and one. That's a nice finish.
And that's the third foul on Corey Brown. So Edwards to the line. Not a particularly good free throw shooter at 60%, but he hits that one. It's back to a 2-point lead for the Dons.
And North Dakota State, a good spacing team as it relates to feeding the post, but they don't get a lot of movement when there's dribble penetration. That time it led to a turnover.
Wright feeds the post. Bjorklund double team, moves right around it and scores. Boy, what a nifty slip to the basket. Oh, and a backdoor cut by Edwards. And a pretty pass from the point.
Very impressed with the poise that this IPFW team is playing with. They showed it last night in the semis. They're doing it again as we approach the stretch in the 10-minute mark of the championship game.
Bjorklund is fouled. This was a beautiful pass from the point.
Pierre Bland, how about that look? Couldn't have thrown it any better on the backdoor cut to Edwards.
Bland is the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the Summit. That was his 6th assist here tonight.
Clay, I like this move by Tony Jassic, keeping Bland in the game. He's a veteran. He's got 3 fouls. He's got to play with some fouls in the championship.
Wright buries another 3. He's got 19 points.
TrayVonn Wright came to play tonight.
Bland sets up Reed. He got the whistle. It's 3 on Bjorklund. That's their 3rd on Bjorklund, who might be a little gassed right now. He's been out there a lot of minutes tonight. Again, both of these teams, they don't go very deep, do they?
No, they don't go deep, so they're going to have to play their guys. Plus, you want your best players on the floor in the championship situation. They're going to have to play with fouls. If they pick up a fourth, you can sub for them. A little different for a big like Bjorklund. And I say you keep the perimeter guys in.
So Bjorklund with those 3 personals will sit down to get a blow here.
One of the keys offensively in the second half in terms of them not being quite as productive, IPFW, is that Jacobo is scoreless in 10 minutes so far in this half.
He had 9 at halftime. That's where he still stands. (48-47) IPFW. This is the championship of the Summit League. From the corner, Taylor Braun continues to have a tough night shooting.
Keep going to him. A little baseline screening action to get him open. He got a good look, just didn't go down.
Jacobo. Reed, a big rebound for the Mastodons.
Joe Reed has played really well tonight. A couple offensive boards, tough defense, kept a few basketballs alive, and a lot of dirty work inside.
Running, throwing it up. Mo Evans still scoreless. Alexander. That might have been partially blocked by Jacobo. IPFW with its foot on the gas. They waste no time getting into the front court.
They're going to push it on you in a hurry. They'll take the quick one if they can get it. If not, they're happy to run their offense in the half court.
Jacobo watched by Alexander. Spin. Shot is short. There's a rebound for TrayVonn Wright. Auburn. Watched by Reed. Pass to Brown. Just one shot that time for the Bison. Under 8 minutes to go here in Sioux Falls. Bruce Edwards. Feed Pierre Bland. Tried to pass out of the paint. And it's out of bounds. And we've got a timeout here on the floor with 7:34 to go. It's a 1-point game for the Bjorklund. He and TrayVonn Wright have been the offense for the Bison here tonight. They're 12 of 17 combined for 29 points. The rest of the team is 7 of 28 from the field, just 28 points.
And player of the year, Taylor Braun, with only 5.
Believe it or not, IPFW doesn't have one player in double figures. It's a more of a balanced effort tonight from the Mastodons. Everybody's contributed. As Edwards is fouled out high by North Dakota State. It's Corey Brown, and that's number 4 on Brown. The starters for NDSU now in series foul trouble. Still 7.5 to go. As Felt has come off the bench, he's ready to check in for the Bison. And Steve Forbes, he lost it. You see the frustration on his face as he comes back down the floor.
He's a little loose with it on that one, dribbled it away from his body. North Dakota State able to knock it away. Got to keep that thing in tight if you're a big fella working in the paint.
He had 10 points and 8 rebounds last night. He's been quieter offensively tonight, just 4 points.
But he's been a presence for him on both ends physically, and I think that's been important.
Even if he goes scoreless and doesn't get a rebound, he's going to be a physical presence. There's Kading back in, a sophomore from De Pere, Wisconsin, as Brown sits down with those 4 personals. You know where De Pere, Wisconsin is. You spent some time in Wisconsin, right?
Absolutely. 4 years in Milwaukee.
It's right up there by Green Bay, where Vince Lombardi used to have training camp with his Packers. De Pere, Wisconsin. From the corner. That was a bad 3 for Wright. Now ahead of the field, there's Jacobo, and he had it blocked by Wright. How about that?
Shot the 3 in the corner and sprinted back to get the block in transition. Tremendous effort play by TrayVonn Wright.
People here telling you and I that you might think he's the best athlete in the Summit. I think you and I now believe he is, for sure. Let's see that again.
Just an absolutely unbelievable effort to shoot the three in the corner and then sprint the floor and get the block. TrayVonn Wright making plays with his athleticism, and their winning plays stop the key basket in a championship game.
Well, now Steve Forbes goes to the bench for IPFW. He just picked up his fourth foul. Bjorklund at the line. This would be his third foul shot tonight. He's 2 for 2. Second team All Summit, Steve Forbes. Averages 12 points per game. He's on the bench with 4 fouls and just 4 points tonight. Bland on the 2-on-1 break. Jacobo couldn't finish.
It's a big play. This layups lead to baskets on the other end.
Alexander. Oh, that's going to be a foul on North Dakota State. It's on Bjorklund, and now he's got 4.
IPFW misses the layup. Jacobo just lost the handle on it. Normally when you miss a layup in transition, it's going to lead to a basket on the other end because the defense is scrambling and can't get back. But Bjorklund gets called for a moving screen in transition.
Here we go, about 6 minutes left, and we're tied at 48. This game's going to be decided late. IPFW has never been to the NCAA tournament. Jacobo. So back out for Kivalowski, who's back into the game. He's been a weapon from outside the arc. 7 on the shot clock. Bland moves in. That's blocked. Loose on the floor. Reed has it taken away by Wright. There is nothing he hasn't done tonight. Now he drives, and it rolls out of the cut. Another jump ball, and the arrow's going to favor the Mastodons this time.
We are getting a championship effort tonight. Bodies flying everywhere. Wright drives the basketball, misses the little flip shot, and when it's loose, no hesitation. It's a scrum underneath the basket.
Tony Jasic assisted Dane Fife at IPFW before he got his chance.
Now on staff at Michigan State with Tom Izzo.
Sharp young coach. Dons have it. Just over 5 minutes to go. Bland, free throw line. Jacobo for 3.
Tough shot for Jacobo. Didn't really step into it in rhythm. Kind of rushed it. He's going to make sure he gets those inside-out threes where he's stepping in rhythm and on balance, can hold his follow-through and finish those.
Auburn battling Reed. Hook shot with the right hand. Doesn't go. Reed gets the rebound.
Reed stayed down that time, made him shoot over top of him, made it a tougher shot, and was able to get the stop. I'll tell you what, if I'm Tony Jasic right now, I keep the ball in Bland's hands, and I'll set as many ball screens as possible for him. Spread that defense out.
Make something happen. They left him wide open, and he took the 3. Thank you very much, he says.
Off the ball screens, the bigs from North Dakota State are not going to be able to guard multiple ball screen actions with Bland handling.
North Dakota State calls a timeout. They go back down by 3. We'll take a break here back in Sioux Falls for the Summit League title game. IPFW's first 3 of the half gives them the 3-point lead. Moments we love, brought to you by Axe. And how about TrayVonn Wright tonight, playing above the rim?
Who doesn't love to see somebody like him elevate and dunk? He's had 3 nice ones tonight. She loves it.
says those Bison fans can't get into hoops. They love their football, but this basketball team has been great all year in the Summit League. 12 games to finish first. TrayVonn Wright, a big reason why.
Well, that man has played with a will to win tonight. It's not just the dunks and the points. He's made tremendous effort plays as well.
Taylor Braun missed the shot. Bjorklund got the rebound, and he was fouled. That was on Kivelowski. First on Michael Kivelowski. And Dakota State will have the 1-and-1.
For IPFW, you've got Marshall Bjorklund back in the game. He's got 4 fouls. By far the best interior player for North Dakota State. You got to go at him right away on a post touch or some ball screen action. And with Forbes out, you got to get him moving, try to get him caught on his heels, guarding the perimeter guy.
They missed the back end, and Reed got the rebound. So IPFW comes ahead with a 2-point lead as we go under the 4-minute mark. Pierre Bland takes it inside, scoops it, misses. Alexander the rebound. Braun fouled by McCray. All right, when we come back, the last 3:37, the winner from the Summit goes on to the national tournament. .337 left here in Sioux Falls. 51-49 IPFW. 24 wins, most in program history, and the most of all 10 Division I schools in the state of Indiana.
And they're trying to add one more and a championship. You look at that list, it's impressive. To lead a state that thrives on basketball with that many Division I programs speaks volumes to the job that man, Tony Jasic, has done with this Don program.
Tony was telling us members of the Indiana State Legislature having a viewing party in Indianapolis tonight. You know who they're rooting for. But we've got a tie game here at 51 with 3.5 to go.
Did you expect anything less between these two teams?
Not from the Summit League tournament. It's been like this the last few years. Comes right down to the wire. Forbes. Oh, that's going to be goaltending. That's goaltending on TrayVonn Wright.
Watch where he comes from to get that one. He was even further out, but it hit the board first. You can't stop it once it hits the board. Good call by the official.
So credit the Dons with 2. They've got the lead back. Bjorklund kicks it back out for North Dakota State. Bjorklund's got 4 personals. 3 minutes to go. Shot clock inside at 10. Braun moves to the baseline. That's blocked from behind by McCray.
Isaiah McCray has done the job on Taylor Braun in this second half, getting up under him, using his quickness and strength, not let Braun get around him. That time he did a little bit. McCray blocked it.
You said it before. He's their defensive specialist.
He gets after it on the defensive end, takes great pride in stopping the other team's best scorer.
They have 5 to shoot. Braun pulls up for the 3. Bang! And a fist pump coming back down the floor.
That's what player of the years do. Make shots when it counts. Struggled all game. Rose up and hit a big one.
Watched by Bjorklund. He's got 4 fouls. Got it out the window. Can't score. And the rebound brought down by Lawrence Alexander.
Both of these teams just look gassed, Clay. They're just fighting. Sheer will. Playing for a championship.
2 minutes to play. Bjorklund, the scoop shot doesn't go. timeout. IPFW calls a timeout. They have 3 remaining. Both teams with 3. And we're going to step aside. Taylor Braun, the person on top. The Summit League goes to 9 teams next year. Oral Roberts is coming back this fall after 2 years in the Southland. This conference is doing such great things. Teams that have left want desperately to get back in. That's the case of Oral Roberts. This is a fun conference to follow.
It's an outstanding conference. Oral Roberts, a good basketball tradition. So you bring another good basketball school back into the league. The tournament continues to grow. Programs continue to get better. Good things moving forward for this Summit Conference.
IPFW has it in the front court. Shot clock under 30. Mastodons in blue, down 1. They've never been to the big dance before. Forbes. And he's fouled. And Forbes will be on the line. A reminder, the American Championship presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups this week. First round, Temple, UCF, Rutgers, and USF. Those games are on Wednesday. You see the lineup on Thursday, which includes the 1-seed Cincinnati and the defending national champs Louisville.
Well, the top 5 seeds are going to the NCAA tournament, but could help their seeding in the American Conference tournament.
Yorkland has just fouled out for the Bison. How is that going to affect North Dakota State the rest of the way?
Well, defensively, it won't affect them because they're just going to sub in with the big, but offensively, they don't have the same caliber big to play through to try to play inside out on one of these last possessions.
Forbes got them both, and the Dons lead by 1.
Stepped to the line and said, I got this.
IPFW looking for its first NCAA berth. North Dakota State went in 2009. They haven't been back since.
For IPFW, you can't just stop the first shot. Keep TrayVonn Wright off the glass.
Taylor Braun gets the basket, and North Dakota State quickly calls a timeout. Four of 9 here since halftime from the field.
And the key to that is his shot numbers. He's gotten more shots, so he scored more. He's a scorer. He's an efficient scorer. Shooting 50% from the field and 40 from the 3. If you get him shots, he's going to score.
A reminder after the game, the Summit League trophy presentation will be live and exclusive on ESPN3.
Got to keep Pierre Bland out of the paint if you're the Bison on this possession.
One minute to play. Jacobo. Got it to Forbes. He's stripped. Out of bounds to the Mastodons. Nine seconds on the shot clock.
Well, you got plenty of time right here. You got to enter it. You got time for a pass or 2, but you want to get something going to the basket. Don't settle for a challenge jump shot. Only take the jumper if it comes off penetration and a kick.
Clean up some of the perspiration from Steve Forbes on the floor. What a way to send this old building out. The last Summit League title game here in Old Sioux Falls Arena. The new building opens this fall. Shot clock at 6. Forbes. It was halfway down and it comes out right into the hands of Alexander.
If you're IPFW, you got to trust your defense right here. Sit down and get a stop. You're going to get the basketball back, but you can't let the second shot beat you. Face, guard, and block out TrayVonn Wright. Do not let him get to the rim on the offensive glass.
10-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Braun taking his time. Shot clock goes to 5. Makes his move. Splits the defense. Throws it up. Gets it in. The foul. How about that swagger?
you don't play like he does in the first half in terms of not scoring and do what he's done the last few minutes without having some swagger. The pump fake at the end gets Forbes in the air and keeps his eyes on the rim. Great scorers always stay focused on their target. That was a big-time finish and a clutch play.
Braun's body language in the first half. You noticed it again at halftime. You've seen it here in the second half. How has he progressed throughout this game?
Well, I think once he saw one go in, later as the second half went on, he started to get it back. Scorers can be mentally tough. They can be great kids. They can be competitors like Taylor Braun is. But if you're a scorer, you got to see the ball go through the basket to feel good about your game. Once that happened, you saw him start to relax and knock down some more shots.
He vowed to not get beat again in this title game after last year's loss. The lead is 4. Kibalowski for 3. No. Reed, the stick back with 3 seconds left, and it's a 2-point game. So now, IPFW quickly calls the timeout. What's the plan here now for the Mastodons?
Straight trips for big buckets off the high ball screen for the big one. And one. Saw 2 seconds there on the shot clock. That is the definition of clutch.
12 points this half for the league player of the year. 3 seconds to go. Wright to trigger the inbound. Gets it in to Corey Brown. And with 2.2 left, whistle stops play. There's a foul. They'll shoot down on this end.
One of the advantages of having a senior-laden team is, you know, when you get in a late-game situation, like having to inbound the basketball cleanly and get fouled, you're going to be able to execute it. Good execution by the Bison.
Corey Brown, 78% foul shooter on the season. He's 2 for 2 tonight. North Dakota State has been very good at the line tonight, 10 of 12. One more will ice it. And IPFW wants to call a timeout here. And the Mastodons are out of timeouts.
Dare Saul Phillips
tonight. So 2.2 left. And Corey Brown at the foul line. To make this a 2-possession game. Missed it. To tie? No, and North Dakota State is going back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 5 years.